UEFA Champions League 19, and home command ability but so check the number of games a bit definitely the biggest game will be Juventus and then Borussia Dortmund. Yes, I think that's the biggest fixture. Athletic Club and the Arsenal a big game. PSV Union a big game. Benfica Karabakh a big game. But Juventus Borussia Dortmund game is one of the fine big game a bit in Matoja. And the Mesha said the side game it did in Komokaka. So we'll check it. I go to the last season of Juventus. It was a good omen for him because of say Juve team no befa it wasn't the Juventus team at the time and now Agnelli the president for the football club. Now our appointed BP Marotta to become a sporting director for the football club. Now, the two people who lead Juventus combined to give Juventus Football Club a good magical moment. Na been seen that in the history of Juventus. Because in a season, I say in a long number of years, now Juventus will remain consistent enough in terms of winning the Serie A title for themselves. For the past that kind of 9 years, it was something unmatched. Even the side of appointing Luigi Del Neri in the first appointment in terms of the top coaches level and not Juventus, it me a redevelopment of football club and it didn't go on well for Luigi Del Neri. Ofriho Antonio Conte will come. Antonio Conte for consistently about 3 seasons in a row, what will be the Serie A title Edema Juventus Football Club. Then Allegri will also come and continue the job and all year. A lot of coaches will pass it through and they will become that kind of Serie A clubber. In the last few years, no more campaigning for the Serie A titles. No more also a room in the UEFA Champions League final. They played against FC Barcelona in the final and played with Real Madrid Football Club in the final. But Anko from Juventus Football Club. I'm fall back. They were not able to give that expectancy when it comes to the good quality footballer. Na Agnelli and BP Marotta mo Edema Football Club into Mufri Hormokoye. We've seen a Juventus Football Club day in and day out. Biana, it is still sinking because of the kind of players are more signing and also the coaches are mobile at hand and some of the performance of the football club. But since last season, I go to the Befa Football Club. He has been able to make sure say Obetima Sesa Football Club identity and make sure he will use the Juventus Football Club to revisit the old fashioner, no omu use running the football club now, assigning good quality players and making sure say Juventus will be a competitive enough in the Serie A title and even in the UEFA Champions League. So we'll check it Allegri team of the call finals 2 times now. It was simply exceptional. It was Juventus Football Club. Now we the first 11 original football no so able game now on bench and as almost substitute they can even form first 11 with that. And in terms of quality na Juventus crew at that time it was very good on that. So we'll check it this season. Saturday Rebellion Mojumawa has said so we'll check it Juventus for quality in terms of player signings on my year from last season up to this particular season. It has been unmatched. And then apart from more quality signings, they've gotten one particular coach who knew how to blend the players currently as we speak in Juventus, and then he knows how to get the best out of the players currently as we speak. So checking the number of games about this particular season, not checking the number of points someone in the Serie A title, then you find yourselves that even last weekend, that kind of competition boy against Inter Milan in the Serie A title, and also in the Serie A competition, it told you say this was a particular club they wanted to fight for themselves, and even with the players they wanted to fight for themselves. So Juve, a good kind of team they can easily compete. Then talk about Borussia Dortmund. In the last 2 seasons, they went into the final with Real Madrid Football Club. Last season, Nuri Sahi Befa Club went to me and Menovani ways for the football club. Yapamano Efrio, a new coach at the number side of Borussia Dortmund. The same Borussia Dortmund is not competing enough when it comes to the UEFA Champions League last season. And even this season, they are having their biggest start enough meeting against Juventus Football Club. It will be a big test for them. Because in the last couple of games against Juventus Football Club, they've not been able to win most of the wins against Juventus, and they've not been able to score a lot of goals in that particular time as a football club called Borussia Dortmund. But so we'll check the number of games these two football clubs, it has been well unmatched for the side of Juventus Football Club. In the last 5 games, Juve a team had 3 wins on that, 0 draws in APM and just a win in Ediama Borussia Dortmund. It tells you say it has been well for the side of Juventus Football Club. Now, so we'll check in 2015. Juve equal Borussia Dortmund and also go home against Borussia Dortmund and they were able to win that particular game by 2-1. Borussia Dortmund etnefie Emma Juventus Football Club ebe show in the return leg. That was March 18, 2015 in that particular game. Then you talk about that same year, July 25, 2015. We had Borussia Dortmund meeting against Juventus Football Club at Borussia Dortmund. Etimisha Juve by 2-0. That was the first winner, not Juventus for Borussia Dortmund Enya over Borussia Dortmund in that particular level. Then you talk about the last game on board, that was August 10th, and they were able to make sure say Juventus was having a good win against Borussia Dortmund, scoring them by 2-1. So in the last 5 games, we are having Juventus Football Club dominating over the side of Borussia Dortmund and making sure say they can easily win against them in this particular match. But Commander, so we'll check the kind of stars now with Diego Hona. It tells us Juve away anymore. In terms of number of games about this particular season, the number of touches are the side of Juventus Football Club meeting against any other football club in all other competitions this particular season. So we'll rank it close to about 100%. Juventus Football Club, in terms of I go to the they've been able to have 77% when it comes to ball possession, especially with the touches in the midfield in any other competition. Short attempt Juventus about throughout this particular season, they've been able to have 92% in this particular season for the side of Juventus Football Club. And in terms of goal scoring rates, so we rated some of these Serie A clubs are almost share a lot of goal this season. You are talking about Juventus Football Club. So we're rating about percentages wise or many are close to about 87% when it comes to goals scored percentage win rate across the Juventus Football Club. So we'll compare with the Borussia Dortmund or Modiana Ewa from chances created. Juve for this particular scene 98% as compared to Borussia Dortmund, more chances created and no 60%. It tells you say form in terms of area duels won in the midfield. Juve for midfield in close about 76 area duels won in all other countries no winning this particular season as compared to Borussia Dortmund more area duels won aqua 32% in terms of the form. Now in terms of defensive contribution, say Yambo ball of every HA into the midfield half of any other football club in checking for the side of Juventus no defensive contribution on Kwano and club no close to about 56% in terms of ball progression for the defensive structure into the midfield, but in terms of Borussia Dortmund this particular season just 19%. So it tells you say modern bono Borussia Dortmund this season mono and mu pay the stars now binya one. But I will check on first starting line a bit matuja in this particular 2 football club. It is actually done for this particular 2 football club. Now we'll check